Episode 6 was one full of some surprises and some not so surprises. 2 bits back home, and we've started to see Kane's rebellion get into motion, and it's only going to pick up speed in the next episode. Brayden looked like he was home too when he was on the corner selling for Kane. Now in this video, I'm talking about fan reactions, your comments, so welcome back to MovieBot. Let's talk about Power Book 2 Ghost, Episode 6. So I hope you're all doing great, and hopefully most of you, if not all of you, have seen the episode by now. And if you've missed my episode review and recap video, then I'll link it down below in the description and in the comment section. But in this video, I'm talking all about your guys' reactions, your comments, and the top 3 topics in particular in the comment sections, which was 2 bits return, what you could have in store for us for the rest of Power Book 2, Kane rebelling against Monet, and Brayden falling in love with the side of the game which Kane has introduced him to. But if you're new to the channel and you haven't done so already, and you want to see everything from review, recaps, to storyline breakdowns and the Power Universe news, then remember to smash the subscribe button. Now I just wanted to give you guys my overall thoughts on the episode, and it was an intense episode. 2-bit coming back at the beginning was just like whoa, and then you had Kane building up, and you could just tell something was building up and he was going to explode, and you were just waiting for it because you could see it coming. And a little less of Tariq in this episode, but that was okay because I think they've set up some crucial storylines, especially one with Brayden entering the game, loving the thrill, which I'm going to speak about in a bit more detail later on in the video with Kane's rebellion. But an overall such a good episode to kick things off for the second half of the season. But let's get started with the topic, and that's 2-bit. And there's no better place to start than talking about 2-bit because he's one of the realest characters from the original Power series, and I made 2 videos on 2-bit in the last couple of weeks because it just made sense for them to have him released from prison, the charges dropped, or whichever way they went with 2-bit being released, because I've been saying it makes sense for him to be released if Tommy's returning for the back end of the season. And this is what Support Gaming 2020 said in the comment section earlier today as well. He said 2-bit getting out will set up his role in Tommy's spin-off, and I completely agree. This is something I've said countless of times before because it just makes sense. Where would 2-bit fit in the storyline of Power Book 2? He actually would serve more of a purpose with Tommy in Power Book 4 Force, and I went through this in a lot more detail in a video a few weeks back, how it makes sense for him to join Tommy. And speaking of Tommy, Fareed said 2-bit will lead to the death of Tasha because now he's out, he is most likely to let Tommy know what happened and who said what about him, which he did when Spanky tried to give Tommy up. And I completely agree with this. It's a good point because you can bet 2-bit is going to want to get back into the game, and he's not going to do that with Tariq in Power Book 2 in my opinion. So he's going to call none other than the one person who's alive, and that's Tommy. While he speaks to Tommy, I'm sure he's going to let him know everything that Tasha's been saying, if he knows that is. But I'm sure they will exchange a few words, and that's when we could see Tommy rock up to New York again. So I definitely think 2-bit will be on the phone to Tommy. And D786 said, I think Kane is going to go with Tommy and 2-bit to Cali. Now this is something else I've spoken about previously in this video. I spoke about how Kane doesn't fit in with the Tejadas, he's treated differently, and actually made a video of Kane not being Lorenzo's son and being Kanan's instead. And this episode really did show us more of Kane not really being treated right by Lorenzo and Monet. I think Kane leaving with 2-bit and Tommy is a real possibility because Tommy's gonna need bodies. 2-bit can be one of them, and could Kane be another? It's just a matter of how they could meet and if this is gonna go down like this. But I'll link the video down below where I spoke about the potential team up with Tommy and Kane. And it's a perfect time to move on and talk about Kane because Kane, is he Lorenzo's? Is he even Monet's son? I've got a lot of comments questioning this now, so let me know what your thoughts are behind that question. But I personally don't think he is Lorenzo's son. I've previously made a video on him potentially being Kanan's son, and even if he's not Kanan's son, I still don't believe that he is Lorenzo's. But with regards to Kane, DJ Creed1 said Kane is definitely out of control, and if Monet or Lorenzo can't control him, he probably won't last this season, paving the way for either Drew or Diana to take over. Alternatively, if Brayden and Kane work together enough and he is isolated from his family, it could be an opportunity for Tariq to use Kane against them when the time comes, because it's easy to see Kane doesn't want to follow, he wants to lead, and Monet and Lorenzo can't control him now. He's dashed Monet on the floor and got a beatdown from Lorenzo, and I don't think it will put him in line either. It's going to push him even further away in my opinion, and it's something I'm going to be speaking about in episode 7 for the episode 7 teaser breakdown that I'm going to be releasing for tomorrow. And I do feel Drew will probably take over only after he suffers a deadly consequence, which I actually think will be Ev. And I think it's only a matter of time before he's killed somehow, either in the crossfire with the GTG crew, or what I would really love to happen is Monet gives Drew an option, it's Ev or the family, and he has no choice but to kill Ev himself, because in the words of Kanan, you ain't a real killer until you've killed someone you love. And could Tariq use Kane against the Tejadas? It's difficult to say because Kane hates Tariq, he's jealous of him, and it's because of him there's such a divide between Kane and Monet and the Tarders now. I can't see Kane working for Tariq, I actually see Kane moving to Power Book 4 Force. Well, this is what I hope anyway, because I think it would just be a shame to kill him off so soon. They could use it as a way of tying Power Book 2 into Power Book 4 Force, well, I eventually think Brayden and Tariq will end up anyway in a couple of years' time. But let's get on to talking about my favourite part, and that's Brayden. Brayden in this episode was amazing. Am I good? I'm rich. I fucking loved watching Brayden in this episode, and Brayden did tease that episode 6 was his favourite episode from the season, so I was expecting Brayden to be heavily involved, and he did not disappoint. Kane dropped him on the corner in Queens and handed him a bag, told him to go and sell, and he did just that. And SM in the comment section said, Brayden is a mini Tommy, and proved it in this episode. I think Trace will end up getting killed, not sure how it's going to go down though, and this is spot on. Brayden is Tommy in the making, but even though the parallels are there, I still say we should still enjoy Brayden for the character that he is. He is a breath of fresh air and he brings it to the show for the character that he is, even though you can clearly see the connections. And with Trace being killed, this is something I completely agree with SM, and she doesn't know how it will play out, but with Trace, I think Trace may end up snitching or being caught in the wrong place at the wrong time like he did in this episode when Kane walked in on them at Stansfield. But I really hope Brayden and Kane develop their relationship to the point Brayden has a choice to make, the choice either being kill Trace himself or Kane will kill him. Kane tested Brayden in this episode and the tests aren't going to stop. They'll continue into the next episode where we'll most likely see this lick, and I hope Brayden's ultimate test will be having to kill someone. I really hope Kane puts this on Brayden and tells him to pull the trigger on either Trace or Riley, for example. And I've referenced the episode Monster, which is episode 9, and this is the episode where it could bring out a couple of monsters, not just one. And one of them could actually be Brayden in episode 9. I've also referenced this gun that we saw in the mid-season trailer, and could it be Brayden holding this piece for the first time? At some point there will be a turning point for Brayden's character, and I think what we saw play out in episode 6 was one of those turning points where he loves selling on the corners, but this is only the beginning for his character. Kane is going to put him through a series of more tests, and I actually can't wait to see what Brayden does for the rest of the season, because if you guys remember, I said that Brayden will be one of the characters that will develop the most alongside Tariq as the season goes on and as the series progresses, and we'll definitely see a different Brayden by the end of Power Book 2, that's for sure. A ruthless, deadly, cold-hearted, killing machine. I genuinely think Brayden is well on his way to becoming this character sooner or later. But let me know what you guys thought about these 3 particular topics. I'm going to go into in a bit more detail in the week, so I'll be breaking them down in more detail. And I'm just going to put up a few more comments as well, so let me know what you guys think could go down in episode 7, because I'll be dropping my teaser breakdown for episode 7 tomorrow. So drop me your thoughts and comments down below in the comment section, and if you're new to the channel and you haven't done so already, remember to smash the subscribe button as well as giving this video a thumbs up. But thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.